feel like I move around sometimes.
I do too. I do little wiggles. I do a lot of wiggles. Yeah.
We are not the Wiggles, but we have the Wiggles.
Welcome to Tarot Time. I never watched The Wiggles.
I didn't much either. I feel like it was a little bit after my time.
Yeah.
I was a Teletubby
So was Halsey.
kid. Yeah.
Halsey was a major Teletubby kid.
Yeah.
Had a Poe.
I had all the dolls.
You had all of them?
Yeah. Just like the little, I mean, they were like maybe that big.
Yes.
But the like plastic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to call them action figures, but like similar.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
For your world.
In their own way.
For the kid world.
Yeah.
In girl world.
In girl world.
Yeah, I was a PBS kid to the max, but Teletubbies was way younger than me.
Yeah.
It was a Halsey, and she wasn't a Wiggles kid either. She's too old for that. But Arthur. Had a lot of Arthur.
Yeah.
Wishbone. Loved Wishbone. Puzzle Place, which was a puppet one.
I never watched that.
Loved Puzzle Place. And Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow, classic.
LeVar.
I loved Out of the Box.
Halsey was a big Out
Disney.
of the Box girl.
I think that was Disney.
It was
Channel?
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halsey's, you can tell that she came from like a different generation of our family because all of her shows were like cable shows, right? Like when we had more money and more expendable incomes, whereas Jansen and I are like VHS.
Yes.
All the Disney VHSs that were out around then or older. And then a lot of religious shows.
Yeah. I watched a lot of Adventures in Odyssey.
Yes. We listened to Adventures in Odyssey. We didn't really, I think
it was they had movies though, right?
They did.
Or
like cartoons.
Shows. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of them, but for the most part, only listened to Adventures in Odyssey on tape every night.
Yeah.
For a couple of years ago, I think during the pandemic, I figured out that they had a streaming service of a kind. We had to pay $100 a year to have full access. And then it was subscription based. So you had to re-up it every year.
Yeah.
And then I found out more information about Focus on the Family. And I was like, I don't really want to be giving these people my dollars.
Yeah.
They still send me pro anti-abortion propaganda. It's really fun.
Like I don't
want that.
Yeah.
Anyways, little tangent. How you been?
Good. I'm a little sleepy right now.
I am very sleepy.
We had a relaxing day for the most part compared to most weekends, but
yeah,
my body's ready for a little bit of a break.
Oh, or a bit of a break. Mm-hmm. We have like a month ahead of us of just no travel, no filming. Excuse me. Content creation, like editing and things like that. We're putting out a couple of contract kitchens in between the break and then tarot times, of course. But for the most part, just social cut downs and community management. Just typing away on the threads. Spiritually, how are you feeling? What's been going on in your noggin last couple weeks?
I feel like there's been a lot of just stress.
Yeah.
And anxiety a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a lot going on in just like every area of my life and I'm overwhelmed.
Totally.
And I feel like that's been just taking over.
I get that.
You?
Trying to not say 100%.
100%.
I have stopped myself multiple times. Will I be able to stop myself for the rest of the episode? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
100%.
not. I spiritually been feeling really good.
That's good.
My
delayed response.
I
register.
Feel like I've been gravitating towards pulling cards every couple of days, which has not been a daily practice of mine.
Yeah.
And the cards that I've been pulling have been really interesting and right on target. And again, just I feel like cards, especially self pulls, should, if it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, throw it out. You know, you don't need to hold on to something that doesn't make sense. But like everything that's been pulled has totally resonated. Mostly encouragements of routine and developing routine in creative areas and really focusing on self projects, which I'm all about.
Yeah. Do you feel when you do a self pull, do you just pull a single card or do you do multiple?
Sometimes I do multiple. Sometimes I do 3 because I like 3s, and I don't. Yeah, we love 3s here, but I also feel sometimes like 1 isn't enough. If I have one intention or question, 1 card is fine.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just do whatever jumps out. Sometimes I'll do the spread and then pull out 3 cards. I had a reading maybe last week where I got what I thought was a jumper. I was like, that didn't really jump. It kind of just like flopped. Yeah. And I put it back in, and then it was on the bottom of the deck when I reshuffled, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
And so I reshuffled again, and then it came out as a like full jumper again. I was like, okay.
Like, no.
You need this. And it did. I don't remember what card it was, but it was based on routine and just self-discipline equals self-love, basically. Yeah. That is an act of self-love by being disciplined in the things that you want to go out and create. So, yeah. And then for today's topic, because we might pull a card, who knows?
Yeah.
But
brought the book just in case.
Brought the book, we brought the cards, and I brought my notes because your girl, last month, I signed up for a Reiki session, a distanced Reiki session from a friend of the pod. Her name is Carrie, and she's been like, I don't think licensed is the right word, but she was certified kind of, yeah, for Reiki. And then she last year or during the pandemic decided to get certified specifically for distanced Reiki because you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Reiki meaning universal life energy. It's an ancient healing method that manipulates energy flow in the body. Reiki practitioners believe there is an energy force in and around the body. They believe that there is a flow of energy between Reiki practitioner and the receiver of treatment. So it's a method of or therapeutic healing. There could be crystals involved. She didn't have any crystals. She also didn't recommend any crystals at the end. However, that is a trajectory of this conversation.
Have you ever gotten into or
No,
been into?
I have not. But then I did this session, and there's been some after or post Reiki session conversations. Yeah. And then I've been getting stuff in my FYP.
Oh no.
That have like attached themselves to this entire conversation. So that's been interesting. So it's a half-hour long session. Before she'll have like a conversation with you. She uses Marco Polo to like, so that you can save the messages and she can send links through there. And I loved that. She's in North Carolina, so she's a few hours ahead, and she just kind of wants to hear about what's on your mind, what intention you would want to set for this particular session and what maybe you're wrestling with. And I went into it really wanting to, because I think a part of my brain that is significantly broken is the fact that I'm an extremely pessimistic person because I was raised that way by 2 people who are generationally very negative and pessimistic. So I feel like it's ingrained in me, and I want to heal whatever is going on in my brain, like connections in my brain or synapses in my brain that have never been fully formed. Yeah. Because I know that I'm capable of thinking about the glass half full first. Like I want that to be my gut reaction to things and not the negative. Yeah. And I know it exists because I'm married to a man that thinks that way.
His glass full.
Oh, his glass overfloweth at all times.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't, it kind of does. Yeah. It's annoying.
But we love him for it.
We really do. We really do. Reiki also is so it's a Japanese practice. It's also attached to the chakras.
Oh, okay.
So like the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the root chakra, all those. Here, I can show you a little.
It kind of reminds me of a doctor that I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These.
Yeah.
You can't really see them on camera because of the glare. Oh, kind
There you
of.
go.
Yeah, there's 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Crown chakra, third eye chakra, which I have a pimple right in my third eye, which is a sign of purging, obviously, but internally releasing something.
Yeah.
Throat chakra was just all about communication.
Mm-hmm.
Heart chakra, love, healing. Solar plex chakra, so underneath your diaphragm, wisdom, power. Sacral chakra, so like your lower abdomen, sexuality and creativity. And then your root chakra, by your butt, is basic trust.
Oh.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Wait, what were you saying about the doctor?
So when I was in the beginning-ish stage of trying to figure out like why my back was hurting so bad, he's not, but I would call him kind of a voodoo doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
No
Crystals.
No crystals, yeah, and also a way to try to heal the body without like prescription medicine and stuff like
or
that.
like surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would go and let me try not to hit my mic. I would have to do not exercises, but exercises with him where like he would say something and put something in my hand, like a little capsule of something in my hand. It's like, oh, you're allergic to this, or like your body doesn't like that, whatever this is. And then they would just do different things to like release the tension. Yeah.
Hands over you.
Yeah.
That is a form of Reiki.
And there was one where he covers my third eye.
Yeah.
I slept the best after I had these appointments.
Crazy.
Because he would like clear out
everything out of here.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
there's
gosh.
I remember like laying on my back and he had his hand like under my back.
Yeah.
To like for where the pain was at in my spine. And he's like, we're just gonna think about different aspects of your life and so you can release it. And I started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, no.
Very
it's okay.
normal.
Yeah. He's like, you're releasing it. Like you're holding all this tension in and they mention like family, money, work, all these different areas of life that yeah, it was kind of cool. I would go back, but
okay. I mean, I don't know if he has said that sounds exactly like an in-person Reiki session.
Yeah.
Just hilarious.
Interesting. Yeah. It wasn't called that.
But maybe like energy healing. I think there is a very big, oh gosh, what was her name? Hold on. She's a dancer and her brother's on Dancing with the Stars.
Julian Huff.
Julie.
Derek is her brother.
And they look like they're not brother, sister. Their relationship weirds me out.
It is a little strange. They're too close.
Way too close. Juliana.
I was like, we're on the right track.
She is still part of kind of a cultish situation that is all about energy healing.
Oh.
And it's like sponsored by Oprah, and they have these conferences and people have full on orgasms while doing this process of healing. It's very strange.
At the conference?
At the conference on stage. Oh. Did you ever watch the Goop episodes on Netflix?
No.
Gwyneth Paltrow's company. They did, I think there's 2 seasons now. Each episode is about a different form of healing or woo-woo-ness. One of the episodes is about the program that Juliana's in, and she's in the episode, and she's with the doctor that they are showcasing for the episode, and he does one of the sessions with her, and she's writhing on the table. It's very interesting. It was all over TikTok in 2020 because I think the show aired in 2020. It's so weird.
I might need to go find it.
You might need to go find it. There's
intrigued.
Some very good episodes. There's like an episode on sexuality. There's an episode about cold plunging, and there's an episode on breath work. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna be into it.
Maybe. That I learned a lot from that show, even though it's Gwyneth Paltrow. I take that with a bag of salt, but still. Okay, so Carrie and I talked about that, kind of got a little intention setting where I've been at the last couple of weeks and also like why I'm interested in doing this session. Yeah. Honestly, I told her anything that comes to me in a kismet kind of way where I have this gut feeling of like, I should do that.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes to that thing, because in the past I would have said no, or I would have found some excuse to just avoid it because it was different than what I grew up with.
I have a dream to tell you about.
Ooh, fun. Okay.
We'll remember.
Please remember. I've had some weird dreams in the last couple of weeks.
I have too.
Don't know what that's about.
But based on what you just said.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. So I said yes to her. Her session was $65. I also, when it came to therapy, as you know, paying for therapy is like a gut to my stomach. Because one, I would like my father to pay for it. Just kind of feels like retribution. But I also always equate therapy to what is my end result? Like, do I heal from this? When I leave this session, have I healed enough to make the money make sense?
Yeah. I
did not feel the way with Carrie and this practice. I had a very positive experience and one that I was pretty taken aback by. So let me walk you through what we did.
Yes.
So 15 minutes before our session started, which by the way, we weren't together on a Zoom. We weren't together on a phone call. We just both were in a quiet space in our homes at the same exact time so that she can tune into me and I could tune into her. Mm-hmm. 15 minutes before, she sent me this really great like sound healing playlist from Spotify. So I just kind of got in my poof in our bedroom.
Yeah.
Got my blankie, got some water and a ginger ale, and my iPad nearby because I wanted to take notes if anything came up that I would want to like cross-reference with her. Because the coolest part about Reiki is like the shared experience of what the practitioner is feeling and going through while they're healing you. I think it is healing because there have been some significant shifts in my thinking in the last week, which I'm excited to like continue to see.
Yeah.
So I sat down, I listened, I put my headphones on, listened to the sound bath. And then at 1 p.m. she would start the session, and I was totally fine and just in a very relaxed state for like the first 10 minutes. And then like around the 12-minute mark, I started crying out of nowhere. And it wasn't like sobs or this like racking breathing or anything like that. I just lightly started crying and was sad and a little overwhelmed internally, but peaceful, and just kind of like went with it.
Yeah.
Still listened into the sounds. Some of the things that she had me do before also were to like look at the chakras and see if anything resonated of what I just found through Google. And the root chakra is linked to sleeplessness, and that's what I've been dealing with the last couple of weeks. So I kind of thought I skipped all the top ones. I was like, my head's fine, my eyes are fine, my heart's fine, my throat's fine, everything's fine. Like, let's go down to like the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
That was not what came up for her, which is super interesting. But she did say, though, for our first Reiki session, a lot of what happens up here is kind of like what you heal through first, because this is the stuff that is like the headiest, the hardest.
Yeah.
And it made sense to me because what came up for her was my throat chakra and my heart chakra, both having to do with communication and just like past hurts and deep wounding that just is stuck there. And these two things, if I am being honest, I wanted to avoid those thoughts and thinking. Yeah. So it makes sense.
Yeah. You're like, I'm good. It's fine.
Exactly. Also around the 15-minute mark, heart hurt. Like it ached, which was odd and felt like a physical ache that I could note. So I wrote that down. I had thoughts of, towards the end of, what if I am one in a million? What if I believe that with my whole heart? And then colors of violet and blue kept coming up, and green. So we do the whole session. I cried a little, my heart hurt. And then once the session's over, like I said, 30 minutes, Carrie sent me a Marco back of all the notes that she took during her version of the session and anything that came up for her. Okay. And she wants you to kind of have like a conversation back and forth to see like, if this doesn't resonate, totally fine, let it go. If it does, I want to hear from you about like your experience and like if any of this kind of plays in.
Yeah.
Okay. She told me that I did a beautiful job. How exciting.
Thank you.
She was like, you felt so open that it was heady. Like I was dizzy a little bit, and I have never really had that with a patient, or what did she call me? Not a patient, but whatever. Client. Yeah. Client. And she was super like floaty, a little dizzy, and it was intense that I was just so ready to like be healed and be read. She's like,
it's my time.
Yeah. She said, however, you are a firstborn daughter, Virgo, who is extremely like a grounded individual, and you want to like do good at like everything, and you want to be a perfectionist. Yeah. So not shocking. She said right away there was a lot of coughing, throat clearing, and this message that you need to be much louder than what you're being. That whatever the thing that you're doing, keep doing it. But the spirits, like Reiki is very based in like angels, spirits, your spirit guides, and like your ancestors that went before you, trying to make sure that you get to progress in the way that you like your best life is forward before you.
Yeah.
So they're telling me that they've got my back, but that it's time to get even louder. That what I think this last 6 months was loud was not loud. Cool. So throat chakra.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the 30 minutes, that was like maybe the first 2 minutes. The rest of the reading was all heart chakra. She immediately felt like my presence was saying that I want to do this. I'm here to be healed. I want to do this right. And I want to go fast. Like I'm ready to go. And she's kind of had to like tell me to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Slow down. And yes, I'm so excited that you're here, but like, let's take a second. That was maybe like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she started to feel this thought process of self-identity is being questioned. I'm tired, and that I'm not allowing myself to rest, that I desperately need to sleep. I was like, Then she said she started crying. She rarely cries when in reading, so that was already stunning to her.
Yeah.
But we cross-reference. We were crying at the exact same time. So weird. And the reason that she was crying was that she said there were feelings of a nighttime vulnerability. So she said, because I listened to the podcast and I know your story, that kind of makes sense. I said, yeah. That nighttime is scary, and that it is this time that you can't be 100% safe, but that your spirit guides and the people that have gone before you are telling you that you are safe, that you're in a good place, and that you can sleep and you can get rest. She said, then your 4-year-old self came around the corner and peeked out and said, "Wait, can I come?"
I just got chills.
And hang out.
Oh.
Like peeking around and saying, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Like, I want to play. I want to figure out what this is. And she said she came over and sat immediately on my lap. Okay, I'm going to pause there. During the pandemic, I was on TikTok a lot.
Yeah.
As was the rest of the world. And there was this TikTok that I saw that was about inner child healing, which I've never done any kind of therapy about inner child work, which is shocking. I definitely should have done some inner child work. But the woman who was a therapist said one of my favorite practices that I do for inner child healing is that I tell my clients, go back to the moment that you would want to save yourself. Close your eyes, picture that version of you, and walk up to that version of you as who you are now. Like, you've gone before her, you've done all these things, and you have become the person that she never thought you could be. But now it's your time. You get to save her. And I immediately, when I saw that TikTok, was like, 4-year-old self.
Yeah.
Because it was before I became a Christian. It was before, because I became a Christian at 5. And it was before I had this thought in my head of like hell, and that if I didn't accept Christ, that I would be ripped from my family. Like all of those heady, hard things about religion and darkness
that you are terrified with at such a young age and have to make a life
altering decision. Yeah. That was, so 4 was before that had happened. Yeah. So I would want to go, and it was like before we moved out of that house, that was our only positive time in our family. So I wanted to save her before any of that happened. Right. Mm-hmm. So you pick up that person and then you just walk away, and you just imagine starkly walking away with your inner child. Now back.
So you chose 4 years old then?
Yes. Carrie met 4-year-old Bailey. She wanted to be around mom and dad. She always wanted to. She was like, she was telling me that she wanted to be part of the gang and like always in mom and dad's business and like hanging out with mom and dad and like being the trio.
Yeah.
And that was so rang true back then because I was a little bit older than Jansen, and I always wanted to be around the adults, always, like up until adulthood, basically, of just like, I felt like an old soul, and that kids didn't make sense to me really. I would go play with kids, but didn't stick as much as adult conversation did for some reason. She had this belief, Carrie was saying, that she had to hold on to the burden, and that was her job, that she was the older sister, she was the good girl, and that was her job, to be the good girl. And that burden was becoming way too heavy for her to handle. And she needed to be told by Carrie that you don't have to hold on to that anymore. Like those beliefs, the Christian belief system, all of these intense things that you were told as a really little person, you don't have to hold on to them. And guess what? You don't have to be them anymore. Yeah. That was an identity given to you, pushed onto you. Yeah. And you, guess what? Get to give it away. And I'm going to take it off of your shoulders and let's go play. So she sat with that for a while, like probably the middle 10 minutes of our 30 minutes. That was when a lot of the tears were happening for both of us. Yeah. And it didn't take a lot for me to give that up, but I had to be told a couple of times that it's okay, that you don't need to hold on to this anymore. Oh, and that now I have a safe community, that she told younger Bailey that whatever this was not meant for you, was not safe. Yeah. But the things that I have now, the people that are in my life now, and the things that I'm building now are my safe community, and that I can continue to invest in those and feel happy about them. That was cool.
I love that.
After that happened and you felt a lot lighter, there was still this like stickiness around this area and like my sinuses, and only on the right side of my face. She said there's also something like here and like down your shoulders that is bugging you, and I want you to do dry brushing in your gua sha. She's like, I for some reason think that you have those things, but you haven't been doing them, which is so true. I have both of those things and I have completely stopped doing that practice. I don't know why. Yeah. Even though I know that they're good for me. She's like, if you could try doing them at least once a day for the next week or so, if not, keep going. Yeah. Because there's something here that is like octopus tentacles. And she said, there might be a parent in your life that still has these beliefs, that there is stickiness to you, that you're having a hard time removing them. She's like, so I just removed them. She's like, I did there's like a lymphatic massage that you can do around this area and around this area that helps get rid of those attachments. She said, if your eye twitches a lot, that's what that is. And I said, this eye twitches all the God blessed time.
My eye twitches all the time. Mm-hmm. It's twitched for like 6 years.
Same. Literally same. So we removed that. The last few things from her version. Yeah. Third eye vision. So a creation that I'm working on. Yeah. She said, you need to trust your own vision. Out of everything that she had said in the the reading prior to this. She's like, this I think is like your main thing that you need to take away. Trust your own vision, your own foresight. What are your core values, and actually write them down. Spend time here, step into who you are now, and speak your truth with a very clear voice. And what's funny is lately I've been thinking a lot about core values because I feel like I'm in this weird wishy-washy space in the last few years because I just don't know them anymore. Like my core values as career Bailey don't match the Bailey of today, but the Bailey of today feels like the most me version of me.
Yeah.
So she wants me to like actually spend time writing them down and trying to like figure out what that is, but then also to not let other outside resources affect the book and the creativity of that book, that I just really need to silo and have some solo time working on a solo project. I was like, well, guess what March is now?
Perfect timing.
Yeah. She said, if you feel like taking a nap after this, it makes sense. This was like, she said, this was a big clearing out. We cleared out, kind of think of it as like a dirty garage.
Yeah.
All in the heart chakra. And it was a lot of work for her. So naps are in order.
Yeah.
My solar felt steady. Sacral felt like it was only pulling on the left. Don't know what that meant. And that my root chakra was good. No worries. We don't need help there. Okay, so that was her reading. I had I messaged her back and just kind of reveled in how interesting it was and how on target all of that felt.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, I know she listens to the podcast, so she does have that level of knowledge about me, but the other stuff she would never have known about, which is why I liked going to her, because I think anyone that I would gone to prior years knew me too personally, and I just don't think I would have taken it
as seriously.
Yeah, and taken it to heart.
Yeah.
So on my own, I looked up some throat chakra and heart chakra affirmations, things that I should eat, crystals that you would wear for those things, for healing in both of these areas. And the affirmation that I found that I'm going to like try to incorporate daily or just like have up on my mirror or something is, and this is specifically for a heart chakra affirmation, I accept myself as I am. I love myself. I forgive myself. I am worthy of love. I respect myself and those around me. I radiate love and positivity, and my heart is open to love. Also, some journaling prompts, or just, she said, you can do journaling. I love journaling, but also I think of journaling as going on a walk and being alone with the self. Oh. That can be a form of journaling to me. Yeah. I was like, I kind of like that. Yeah. But some prompts that she wanted me to work on specifically about the core values. When do you think enough will be enough? And who is going to tell you that enough is enough? Oh. So I got to sit with that. Yeah. Let me pull up the stellium thing because it's wild.
Now I'm going to have to go check mine and see what if I have anything.
I wanted to check yours too. Yeah. So we already know I'm a Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. Mm-hmm. So is Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
It is a cardinal earth sign ruled by Saturn, the cosmic taskmaster. Capricorn is all about structure, rules, authority, work, and responsibility. A stellium in Capricorn has 3 or more planet holdings hands in Capricorn and working together to make a power grab for your birth chart. The more personal planets involved, Sun, Moon, Mercury, which I don't have any of those in Capricorn, will have like a more intense hold. Mm-hmm. A stellium in Capricorn heightens a person's Capricorn qualities. No shit. They may even look like a Capricorn, which we should get into. Because did you know certain signs look like certain kinds of people?
No.
The astrologer that I told you who followed me on TikTok, who I followed back, one of the first TikToks I saw of her was, if you're into astrology, then why am I a Leo? And I was like, immediately, I was like, yes, she does look like a Leo, because she had this like big flowy hair. Yeah. And her face was very like cat-like. Yeah. She goes, then why am I a Leo? Because of my hair, but then also because I look like a cat. And I was like, yeah. And almost every Leo that I've ever met has one of those qualities. Either they have very like cat-like mouth features or eye features, or they have really flowy big hair. Curly hair. Interesting. So strange. These natives are Saturnian in nature and are very serious about life. They are ambitious, high achieving, and often know exactly what they want. A stellium in the birth chart makes a person very obsessive. So a Capricorn stellium makes the native very obsessed with Capricorn things: productivity, discipline, endurance, success, and authority.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It be Bailey.
Yeah.
Since Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign, a stellium in Capricorn is a natural born leader and does not like exaggerations and extravagance unless the stellium is in the 3rd, 5th, or 7th house, which mine are not. Mine are in my 10th and 11th. They are not showy and prefer to have their actions speak louder than words. They can accomplish twice as much as their peers, damn straight, and they are competitive but don't like to rub it in people's faces. On the flip side, a Capricorn stellium can burden a person with responsibilities, and even if no one asks them to, they take it up upon themselves to be responsible for their family, friends, and colleagues. They sometimes feel like they have to be the one in charge and taking on responsibilities, otherwise everything will fall apart. A Capricorn stellium can work well in a team if the other members are just as diligent and practical, but they usually prefer to work alone. If a person with a stellium in Capricorn is born in a directionless and unambitious household or family, they can feel stuck in life and out of place without knowing exactly what it is they're looking for. They often find community in entrepreneurial circles later in life, and once they come across productivity coaches on the internet or books that teach them how to channel their intense desire for greatness into something tangible and achievable, there is no stopping them.
Oh, I'm so intrigued now.
I want to do yours. And I bought, so one of the gemstones that I got was specifically about Capricorn, and I think it was the tiger's eye. I got a blue agate, a green agate, tiger's eye, and an amethyst ring, all having to do with either my sign in Mercury, Libra, my Capricorn stellium, and then the heart and throat chakra.
Interesting.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. So when they go through, do they check all the chakras in one session, or do you have to do multiple?
Great question. They do. She goes through all of them to see what comes up and what resonates loudest.
Yeah.
She said a lot of the times when you do a first Reiki session, the heart, everything from like the crown to the stellium are really loud, because this is the stuff that you think about every day. Right. And because it's the top, it's what would come up first. She said, I'm not saying this to like get another session out of you, because I had mentioned that the root chakra was the one that I thought would come up, because it's also tied to sexuality. And like, we've talked about this a little bit in looking at our charts, but sex life is like a big thing that needs to not just be stimulated, but like be really healthy in my life for me to feel super positive. And it's been fine, but like, I want more. Yeah. I want more. Who doesn't want more? So she said, because we've done this first one, a second one might bring up very different things about what is happening and resonating in the now. This first reading was very much what you had held on to in the past that you really needed to deal with today. Yeah. And that felt good. That felt like healthy. Like, let's get the hardest stuff out of the way. And then we can get to the day to day, you know? Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up my chart to see if I have any duplicates. Yeah. And I'm so intrigued.
I know.
I feel like I would maybe want to, but it kind of scares me. Not like just because I don't know what to do.
I felt the same way. I was just like, so are we getting on a Zoom? Like, what's happening? Like, am I doing this right? And she said, because I had like that thought process of like, am I doing this right? Like, that just made the reading that much better, because she knew that I was taking it seriously and that it would be a positive experience no matter what.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Thanks for listening.
I've been so excited to hear about how this went. So
it was great.
Glad we finally got to it.
Me too. Tell me about your dream.
Okay, so you were saying that triggered this thought in my brain when you were talking about how like things are kismet, like when things kismetly come to you.
You're saying yes.
And also that like you have to be the one to do it because no one else will. Okay. So I had a dream, and I was driving in a car with people.
Okay.
I don't really know who I was with, but people I knew. I was driving in this car as a passenger, and there was a car accident.
Okay.
And we are stopped in traffic because of it. We're waiting to go through this light to pass the car accident, but the people of the car accident are standing outside of the accident on the road.
Okay.
And there's like little children there, like 2 little kids maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But just a couple kids, and they need to be moved from the situation, but like no one is paying attention to them. And I was like, I need to get out of this car right now. I know like we need to keep going, but like I'm supposed to be the one to get out. And I got out of the car and to go help them. And in my dream, I was like, this is weird. Why am I doing this?
Right. But you just felt called to do it.
Yeah.
Weird. Should we look up the dream book to see what kids means when you have dreams of kids and cars? Let's just see. Okay, so we got our dream book.
Yes.
Dreams. Oh, the light didn't like that.
We'll see what it has to say. But yeah, it was so strange. And in my dream, I remember thinking, this isn't like you.
Yeah. But you're just going to do it anyways.
Yeah. And I had that dream probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it's just stuck
in there.
Yeah, maybe 3.
You rescue a child. Okay, I'll read the rescuing people. Also, this page is so cute. Literally rescuing a kid. Okay.
That was me.
Me. Being a hero. This is a masculine or animus territory. It's often part of a psychological makeup. We play hero when heroism is not required. So there's a caveat here. Does it feed your ego and sense of self needing to rescue in order to feel good? Okay.
I don't feel like that was.
Calm down, book. Okay. You rescue a child. Your dream shows kids in dangerous places taking risk. You see a particular child in danger. You hesitate, wondering if the parents might object, but you hurry forward anyway to carry that little child away from the perceived threat. Action. Your dreaming self did the right thing. Good job.
Thank you.
Perhaps this resonates with some episode in your own childhood. Now you are practicing taking charge of the situation, no longer helpless. Did you ever feel that way? Like you wanted to be rescued as a kid in some scenario? She's like, I gotta sit with that.
Like, do you think in a not traumatic way, but like in an eventful way?
Yeah, eventful. Not necessarily like long-term abuse or anything like that.
I don't know.
You gotta think on that.
I know. I took it more of a positive thing.
I would too.
I don't know. This is just like my kind of off the cuff interpretation of my own dream by my own brain. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I felt that it was more of like you've been maybe shy in the past to not want to necessarily do the difficult thing. I don't know if shy was the word I wanted to use.
You're not jumping at the bit.
Yeah, and
to get into it.
And to do the thing that might disrupt my routine of like, I know that we need to go forward here, but this needs to be addressed, and no one else is stepping up to the plate to take care of it, so it's going to be me.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I feel like maybe that's part of my hermit year.
Perhaps.
Maybe
it's about your next month too. We had planned on like gung-hoing through this month, but maybe we need to veer off and do a little rescuing of ourselves.
Yeah.
Our inner child.
Maybe.
And just rest.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it's not this deep.
Maybe not.
This is a little too deep.
No.
No.
I don't think there was anything in my childhood that I needed to be rescued from.
Yeah, no.
Or I've blacked it out. But
hey, have you ever wanted to do what's that EMDR therapy to like bring back repressed memories?
No.
She's like, hard pass.
I've never thought about it for myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've been through, I don't know if I've been through anything that I deem traumatic enough to stir.
Yeah. Or if bringing it up would heal something, like you don't feel that need to get it healed, basically.
Right now, I feel like anything in my past that might have, I don't know, been negative or had a whatever impact, I've come to terms with it.
Yeah. And you remember it?
Yeah. Like, I'm fine.
I totally get that.
But I don't know, maybe.
The only reason that I would want to do it in the future is for the book.
Yeah.
Because specifically about like my part of the book, because there are things obviously from my childhood that I've blacked out or I've just put behind this fog. And in order to write the book, I do want to do it in detail of that time, not fact for fact, but just in a storytelling way, have more detail in my brain to work with. And there are some significant holes.
Yeah.
But I think I also, when I get to that part 3, I probably just in an act of having to write about it would be able to pull those out on my own. I don't know if I necessarily need to like go get EMDR.
Yeah.
But I've heard amazing things about it.
Really?
All my friends that have tried EMDR have had fantastic results and like swear by it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the ones that have had it had some pretty significant trauma that they needed to work through that they blacked out. Whereas a lot of my trauma, I can remember all of it. Thanks, Dad. So I don't really need help in that regard.
Yeah.
Now, other surrounding happy memories of my childhood, those are the ones that I have sadly blacked out.
Yeah.
Because like my brain could only hold on to the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Pessimism. So.
And then I wonder too, because, and maybe this is why I haven't thought about doing it, is this just something that I've forgotten because it wasn't as significant,
right?
And it's been 20 years,
exactly.
Or
no, absolutely.
Like, so
I wish that there are like trips that we went on as kids, or just significant family moments that everyone else can remember that I'm just like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Those are the ones that I would want. But you're right, like all the other peaks are just so intensely negative in my brain. That's what I can remember every piece of, that everything else kind of falls to the wayside. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe I can do it on my own.
We'll see.
Okay. Hey, that was fun.
That was fun.
What a great tarot time.
I loved learning about all the things.
Throat chakra.
Yeah.
Now we're about to get louder. Oh, you
I'm
hear
a little stressed.
Don't be stressed. I think by louder, it just means keep going.
Yeah. That
it's only going to get louder because we're only going to be seen by more people. That's where my brain went.
I like that thought process.
And that would, more people means more voices, which would mean louder.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, please like and subscribe this video. Hey, let me know if you have a stellium in your chart.
Ooh, yeah.
Who we got in? Do we have a bunch of rare peeps up in here?
I hope so.
I hope so too. And we'll maybe next time we'll take a look at Kelly's chart and we'll read all about her stellium if you have one. Fingers crossed. Thanks for joining us for Tarot Time. Like I said, like and subscribe to our channel, Blood and Contracts. Like this video, tell us your stellium, and maybe hit the bell if you want to know when we're having a new video come out.
Because maybe we're going live for a little book club action, or maybe we have a new episode of something.
Who knows what will come out of these old noggins, these inventor brains.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic day wherever you are, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Little princess wave.
Yeah.